Good day, everyone. On this particular video, I'll be discussing about Python continue and break statement. Okay, so it's a very again simple statement in Python, but I'd love to share this one because I believe that when you are going to take Python programming language seriously, you'll be dealing with these simple statements like break and continue. And what is the purpose of break and continue statements? Okay, when you are going to use break and continue statements in a loop, it will tend to alter the flow of the loop. Right? It will try to interrupt the usual flow of the loop, and the function of break is it's an opposite to continue. Okay, and I would like to discuss the function of this by way of giving you an example, right? So I would like to share my online compiler and do some Python programming. Okay, so here I think this is my ninth video tutorial for Python programming language. Okay, so here for example, let us say for x in range of say for example 11, right? Okay, so when we say print x, so we are trying to display whatever is the value of x. So when we click run command, when we did the execution, so we have this output 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 up to 11 up to 10. So in short, we are trying to display the value of x, and by default, when you are having this kind of program, the starting point of the value is 0 and it will end up at 10, meaning the loop is being performed how many times? 11 times, right? So this is the meaning of print. And sometimes you can specify the starting point of the range. For example, when you say 5, so when you press enter K, you are actually displaying the value of x, which is from 5 to 11. And the print x in here is being performed how many times? 1 2 3 4 5 6 times, because we have this 11, and 11 minus 5 is that's 6, right? So here, so that's a for loop statement in Python, and we can insert break. Okay, we can insert break. For example, when we say break in here, and when we are going to press enter K, we are actually displaying the first value only. Why? Because in this particular example, the first value of x is 5. Okay, and then print x, meaning display whatever is the value of x, and since x contains 5, so that is why we have here 5. Are you following? And the next statement, part of for loop statement is break, and when you say break, that means stop the execution, do not perform the loop anymore, and that is why we have 5 here only. Okay, so that's the function of break statement. And we'll try issuing break statement before printing x. What will happen when you press enter K? We are displaying nothing. Why? Because the first value of x is 5, and since the condition is true, because this condition will only become false if your x reaches, if the loop is being performed more than 11 times, right? So in this particular example, the value of x is 5, right? And it goes into the loop body, and the loop body says break. So when it says break, meaning exit from the loop, and we were not able to display the value of x. So the execution of Python did not reach to this level. Okay, it ends up in here. So that's why we don't have anything in our screen output. So actually that is the function of a break statement. Okay, so I'd love to give you another example. Let's say for example here let us say instead of putting break, we'll try to say here, if we are going to use x, what is this, relational one, if we will say if x is, by the way, we'll try to ask for a value. Alright, we'll try to ask for a value. Say for example, value is int, right? Input, we'll try to ask for a value, enter a value. Okay, so if entered value is less than or equal to 0, then break, else display the value of the value of the content of value. And in here we can actually limit the right. So we are trying to perform this loop how many times? 5 times. Okay, so when we have 11 here, we are going to execute this loop 11 times also. So we'll try to limit at 5 only, and let's see what is the screen output. Okay, so I am trying to give you examples about program using break statement in Python. So now the program is asking for a value, so 5 for example. Why? Because we have this, right, this one, and whatever value that we are going to feed in, that will be stored to value. And we have this condition, okay, if the content of value is lesser than or equal to 0, then break, meaning exit from the loop, do not perform this anymore. Okay, so if we are going to say 5, when we press enter K, our program continue asking. So when you see 6, it will still ask. When you see 7, it will still ask. When we see 2, it will still ask. When we see 3, it will still ask. And exit. Why exit? Our loop will only perform how many times? 5 times. So that is why we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And whatever value that we are trying to enter, that will be displayed here in screen because of this. Right? Because of this. So when we have 5, is 5 less than or equal to 0? No, false. So do not execute break, but execute this one. And the next one, 6, is 6 less than or equal to 0? No, false. So do not execute, but execute here. So that is why we have 6 in here. It's being displayed. And the next example is 9. Is 9 lesser than or equal to 0? Still false. So display 9. Next, 2. Is 2 lesser than or equal to 0? Still false. Display the value, which is 2. The next example is 3. Is 3 lesser than or equal to 0? Still false. So display 3. Alright? So we'll try to give you another values. Let's see. 7 for example, it will ask. 9 for example, it will ask. What if we'll try to issue negative 4? Okay, what will happen? It exits. Right? Why? Because here, on the first loop, right, execution of loop, 7 is not less than equal or equal to 0, so it displays 7. The next one is 9. 9 is still not less than or equal to 0, so display 9. The next value is negative 4. Is negative 4 less than or equal to 0? Yes, it's true. So since true, execute break, so it exits from the loop. So more or less that is the function of break statement. Okay, I'd love to give you another example. What if we'll try to use while and we'll try to create an infinite loop. When we say infinite loop, I did discuss this already. An ending loop, it will not exist unless otherwise you'll be using something or statement that will alter the normal flow of a loop. And I am referring to continue or break statements, right? So same, I will try to ask for a value. Okay, please follow my screen. Input, I'm sorry, I'd love to use single quote, but in Python you can use double quote. Enter a value. Right. right? And in here, while the condition is true, say for example, if value is what, less than or equal to 0, what will happen? We can have actually print value and then break, okay, and if that condition is false, then we'll try to do something. We'll print we will print entered value is, and then we'll try to use the content of value. I think this is okay. We'll try to run. Okay, so our program now is asking for a value. Okay, let us say 7, for example. When you press enter K, entered value is 7. Why? Because here, when value contains 7, it will check, our program will check, is 7 less than or equal to 0? False. So if the condition is false, our program will not execute this highlighted lines, right? It will not print the value, and it will not execute break statement and proceed to here. Why proceed? Because these are actually part of while loop. So meaning while true, right? Since this kind of while loop statement is an infinite loop, so it will always perform or execute the loop body. So it will execute, right? Now along the way, we have a checker here to check if the condition is true or false. If false, then it will continue here. So that is why we have here, when we display 7, entered 7 is being stored to value, and then in here, the condition is false, so it did not, right, perform these two lines and proceed to entered value is 7. So say for example, we enter 9. When you press enter K, same thing, it will display entered value is 7. It will display in here. But when we are going to say -4 or -3, when we press enter K, right, it exits, right? So here, when the value or the content of the value is -4, the condition here says, is -4 less than or equal to 0? The condition is true. Now since the condition is true, perform this break statement. Alright, so that is why we have here -4. Actually, we can say, say for example here, alright, loop exits, right? So when we run the program, okay, so it will continue asking for a value when you are going to enter positive value. The moment you enter negative value or 0, when you press enter K, it will display loop exits. So meaning it will perform this part here of if statement, right? And after displaying loop exits, it exits it because of the break statement. Okay, so that's it. That's all about break statement. Now I'm going to give you an example that will try to give you an idea of the function of continue, right? Continue. For example, for x in range of say for example 5 or what 10 or so let's try to use 5, and we'll try to ask again, value is equal to right, input, enter a value, and then print whatever is the content of value. Okay, and when we are going to run this program, it will ask for a value how many times? 5 times. Okay, it will ask for a value 5 times. All right, and after 5 values, it will exit. Okay, that's and then what if we'll try to insert? Okay, we'll try to insert continue. For example, here we'll try to ask if value is what, less than or equal to 0. Okay, and then if true, then we'll try to display continue. Okay, We'll try to display continue. So here, when we are going to run this program, okay, look at this. When we are going to run this program, so it will ask for a value, right? And then the moment you entered negative value or 0, negative 2, it won't display the print value anymore here. It won't display. Why? Because continue means go back to the loop. Go back to the loop. Once value is, for example here, 5. The content of value is 5. Is 5 less than or equal to 0? False. So it will not execute continue but proceed to print value. So that is why we have here 5. The next value of value, the content of value is 6. Now is 6 less than or equal to 0? Still false. So it will not execute this continue statement but proceed to this one, print value. The next value is negative 2. Is negative 2 lesser than or equal to 0? True. Now since true, perform continue. Continue means go back, and it goes back to the range. So it will not display the value. Alright? So when you continue display issuing negative, it will not display. Alright? And it will exit once it reaches to 5 times. Let's continue. Break means exit from the loop. Okay? Continue means go back. Alright? Proceed. And skip this one particular value. Okay? So that's it. We can have, I think I can give you one last example for continue. Say for example, here if here I'll try to for x in range of 5, right? Or say for example 1 to 11, for example. Okay. The value of x here will start from 1 and it will end up at 10. Alright. Okay. And then let us say for example if x is less than or equal to example, if x is equal to 5, right? If this condition is true, then we will say continue. Alright? And if it is false, it will try to display the value of x. Alright. So we'll try to execute this program. So look at this. Okay? It displays 1, 2, 3, but it doesn't have 5. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, then 6, 7, 8, 9. Then why is this so? Because when x contains 5, this condition becomes true. And when it becomes true, it will execute continue statement. And continue means proceed and go back to the range. When it goes back to the range, print x, meaning print the value of 5, was not executed. So that is why we don't have 5 value here. Right? So that's it. Okay, that's the function of continue. What if we'll try to change? Instead of continue, we'll try to make use of break. When you run this program, okay, when you run this program, it will display 1, 2, 3, 4 only. Why? Because when x reaches to 5, this condition becomes true. And since the condition is true, execute break. And break means exit from the loop. So that is why we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So more or less, that's the difference between break statement and continue statement, right? So I hope I was able to explain the difference between the two statements. Okay, these two statements is capable of altering the flow of the loop. That's the main function of these two statements. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to click subscribe, and please do some sharing of this channel to your classmates, friends, and relatives, so as to somehow increase my subscribers, and gives me a lot of energy to create another tutorial videos. Okay, so thank you so much for now. God bless you. God bless us. God is good.